What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Too Good for Theaters video. Today, we're going to be going over some college prospects in the 2025 NFL Draft. In particular, Jayden Higgins, wide receiver out of Iowa State. So let's get right into it. So starting off here with Jayden Higgins, he is 22 years old. He is around 6'4" in terms of height, 215 pounds, and he played 4 years in the NCAA. I believe 2 at Iowa State and 2 at Eastern Kentucky here. And obviously he had his big breakout seasons here with the Cyclones at Iowa State. And what I see from him is he's a very good wide receiver against man coverage. For his size, he's a pretty crisp route runner here. Very nice. He actually had 229 deep ball yards, and he had an 87.8 grade versus man coverage, which is an area that the Patriots really have had struggles in these past couple seasons. And another area where the Patriots have really struggled to kind of hit on the offensive side of the ball is more so expanding the field and converting on deep passes, which is something that Jayden Higgins did very well at Iowa State, actually accounting for 229 deep ball yards in his final season at Iowa State there. So hopefully that's something that would translate over to the NFL here. And we know how Drake May loved to use the deep ball in college and showed at times that he certainly liked to use it in the NFL here. I remember in particular that deep pass to Kayshon Boutte against the Texans. So hopefully you add a guy like Jayden Higgins into that mix, and that's an area that could be even more exploited within this Patriots offense. But as I was saying before, very good deep ball route runner, and he really uses his acceleration in that terms of kind of breaking in and out of routes. He's not an absolute burner, but I would say that he has very good acceleration speed, which is stop, deceleration, anything more so like that. And in particular, a couple of routes that I really liked that I saw on his kind of highlight packages, he kind of did this little curl into a fade route where he kind of fooled the defender into biting a little bit on the curl, and then he was able to accelerate past the defender and really use his body to go out and make some very nice contested catches. However, that was a little bit of a downside with Jayden Higgins. He had a good contested catch rate, but I will say that he kind of lets the ball come to his body. Whereas in the NFL, he's really going to have to use his hands and high point the football because corners are simply just too good and they're not going to allow the ball to get to your body in scenarios. So you're going to have to make some contested plucks with your hands in order to make some of these contested catches in the league. But like I said before, pretty solid athlete being 6'4". He actually ran a 4.47 for a 6'4" wide receiver. That's not bad whatsoever. He has good NFL size and speed. His 10-yard split numbers was at 1.53, and he has a very good vertical leap of 39 inches, and he really does have the body to go up and make some contested catches. So once he works on using his hands and kind of high-pointing the football, I expect him to be one of those wide receivers who you can really throw it up to on the boundaries, and hopefully he can come down with some contested catches there. But I would say that my NFL comparison, and I know this is probably going to scare a couple of Patriots fans when I say this, would probably be like Devontae Parker. Pretty similar size as well as weight and very similar route combinations. Really, Jayden Higgins ran a lot of deep post, a lot of slants, some vertical routes, like I said before, that kind of curl into fade combo. And he reminds me just a lot of Devontae Parker, probably around the same type speedish, maybe a little quicker than Devontae Parker. Pretty similar acceleration. And the size really in particular stands out. So hopefully Jayden Higgins is just going to be a more productive Devontae Parker. And if Devontae Parker panned out with the Patriots, that was something that they desperately needed. So hopefully Jayden Higgins here will kind of be what Devontae Parker was supposed to be in New England and kind of be that ex-boundary wide receiver that the Patriots have been lacking for a plethora of years. Take a look at Higgins' 2024 season here. He actually played in a total of 14 games for the Cyclones. He had an offensive grade of 90, a receiving grade of 90.1, and a run block grade of 62.4. And of course, all these grades are being provided by PFF. He was targeted 119 times and came down with a total of 80 receptions for a reception rate of 67.2%. He had 1,070 yards on the season. He averaged around 13.5 yards per reception, came down with a total of 9 touchdowns. He was 11 of 20 in contested catch chances for around a contested catch rate of 55%. He only had 2 drops on the season for around a 2.2% drop rate. He averaged around 4 yards after the catch per reception, some yak yardage there. That was certainly not one of his better areas. However, he is more so a physical receiver, so it's not more so through speed that he's going to get extra yardage. It's going to be more so kind of bullying some of these smaller defensive backs in the league. He averaged around 2.62 yards per route run, and he had an average depth of target of around 12 yards. And some of his key games, he actually had some big-time games against Utah, where he was targeted 13 times, came down with 9 receptions for 155 yards and a touchdown. And against Kansas State, he was actually targeted 11 times, where he came down with 3 receptions. He had 53 yards and a touchdown on 41 passing snaps. I believe he was actually matched up against Jacob Parrish, one of the better corners in the draft there. So not in particular one of his best games, which is a little worrisome, but just wanted to throw out some of his bigger games there, or more important games. So that's going to be something to monitor as well. And take a look at where he really was playing for the Cyclones. He was more so that boundary receiver. However, he did take some snaps in the slot, where he actually had 473 snaps out wide compared to 205 snaps in the slot position. So he is a versatile wide receiver that you could put on the X or inside the boundaries as a slot type. However, I would say he's certainly at his best when he is that true X receiver for you. And that's something that the Patriots certainly need here. So I think that would probably be best put where he would be in this Josh McDaniels offense. All right, everyone, that's going to wrap up this video here about Jayden Higgins. I foresee him kind of being a late first-round pick, more so probably in that second round, and he's certainly going to be available for the Patriots at that 38 overall selection. And I would not be upset whatsoever if the Patriots do end up taking Jayden Higgins in that spot. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below on Jayden Higgins, and would you be happy if the Patriots were able to snag him in the second round?